Hello 8th graders. Today we are going to learn the subjects in Unit 10, Natural Forces. In this unit, our objectives are to make predictions about future, to give reasons and results, and to learn natural forces vocabulary. Alright, let's start. Making predictions about future, giving reasons and results. When we make predictions about the future, we use will future tense. We use will in positive sentences and we use will not or won't in negative sentences. Let's have a look at these examples. I think there will be more floods in the future. I think many animal species won't exist in the future. When we ask about people's opinion about the future, we use do you think and will. Let's look at the examples. A. Do you think there will be traffic jams in the future? B. Yes, I think there will be traffic jams in the future. C. No, there won't be traffic jams in the future. Or no, I don't think there will be traffic jams in the future. Now let's practice. Write positive predictions about the future of the Earth using will or won't and write sentences. Before we write the sentences, you have time. You can think about these sentences. Okay, ready? Let's start. 1. People won't pollute the environment. 2. People will recycle materials like paper and glass to decrease waste materials. 3. People won't kill wild animals. 4. People will pay more attention to the environment. 5. Renewable energy sources will become widespread. Alright, we have written positive predictions about the future of the Earth using will or won't. Let's go on. When we make predictions about the future, we can give reason or result. We use because to give reason. Let's look at the example. I think we will have water shortage in the future because we waste too much water. We use so to give result. For example, I think there will be serious droughts in the future, so schools should educate students to use less water. Let's practice. Can you fill in the blanks with so or because? You have time before we fill in the blanks with so or because. Okay, ready? Let's start. 1. Plastic materials pollute the environment, so people should use paper bags. 2. Factories pollute the water because they release chemicals into the rivers. 3. Forests prevent erosion and clean the air, so people must plant more trees. 4. People should use less water, so they shouldn't waste natural resources. 5. Scientists underline the fossil fuels because they produce carbon dioxide. Alright. Now, let's complete the dialogue with the expressions in the box. The expressions in the box are A. Wasting natural sources. B. People will do from now on. C. We will have hotter. D. Because it's our world. E. It affects many countries. Before we start, you have time. Read the sentences carefully and try to complete the dialogue. Okay, ready? Let's start. Jim, what are you doing, Sally? Sally, I'm reading the results of a new study by NASA. They witnessed that the Earth suffers from the worst drought of 900 years and it affects many countries. Jim, I think it's mainly a man-made disaster. Sally, you are right. Deforestation, misused agricultural areas, destroying wildlife, wasting natural sources, and using fossil fuels have caused global warming. So, scientists say that we will have hotter and drier winters. Jim, yes, they always warn people against disasters. Sally, what do you think people will do from now on? Jim, I think they will take precautions because it's our world. Sally, in fact, they must do it because it's urgent. Jim, exactly. All right, we have completed the dialogue with the expressions in the box. Now, let's read this text and answer the questions. Ready? Let's read. The earth has many problems caused by people. People have wasted the natural sources. So, there will be water and energy shortages in the future. People have polluted the air, water, and land. So, they won't breathe fresh air or swim in the sea. Chemicals and toxic materials will harm marine life more. There will be illnesses because of pollution. They cut down the trees. So, the problems about deforestation, extinction of species, loss of biodiversity, and global warming will increase. The earth will become a place that people can't live on. So, we must take precautions urgently. All right, we have read the text. Did you answer the questions about the text? You have time. Okay, ready? Let's start. 1. What's the main idea in the text? People must protect the environment for their future. 2. What kind of problems will people have because of wasting natural sources? There will be water and energy shortages in the future. 3. What will happen if we don't take precautions urgently? The earth will become a place that people can't live on. All right, we have read the text and answered these questions. Now, let's go on with natural forces vocabulary. Ready? Let's start. Avalanche. A large amount of ice, snow, and rock falling quickly down the side of a mountain. The example is, there is always a high risk of avalanche at Mount Fuji. Drought. A long period when there is little or no rain. The example is, the drought damaged all the crops in the town. Flood. A large amount of water covering an area that is usually dry. The example is, the flood caused a lot of damage to the buildings and cars in the city. Earthquake. a sudden violent movement of the Earth's surface, sometimes causing great damage. The example is, scientists are working on using satellites to predict the earthquakes. Tornado. An extremely strong and dangerous wind that blows in a circle and destroys buildings as it moves along. The example is, more than 1,000 people were injured because of the tornado. Tsunami. An extremely large wave caused by a violent movement of the earth under the sea. The example is, the disastrous effects of the tsunami are limited to coastal regions. Landslide. A mass of rock and earth moving suddenly and quickly down a steep slope. The example, the heavy rains caused a landslide yesterday. Volcano. A mountain with a large circular hole at the top through which lava gases, steam, and dust are or have been forced out. The example is, since the volcano last erupted, many houses have been built in a dangerous position on its slopes. Disaster. An event that results in great harm, damage, death, or serious difficulty. The example is, everything was going smoothly until suddenly disaster struck. Glacier. A large mass of ice that moves slowly. As a result of global warming, glaciers are rapidly melting. Erosion. The fact of soil, stone, etc. being gradually damaged and removed by the waves, rain, or wind. The example is, erosion might cause a natural bridge to form. Rainforest. A forest in a tropical area that receives a lot of rain. The example is, many people are very concerned about the destruction of the rainforests. Precaution. An action that is done to prevent something unpleasant or dangerous happening. For example, doctors are legally obliged to take certain precautions. Temperature. The measured amount of heat in a place or in the body. For example, temperatures have risen over the past few days. Recycle. To sort and collect rubbish in order to treat it and produce useful materials that can be used again. For example, remember to reduce, reuse, or recycle. Eco-friendly. Designed to have little or no damaging effect on the environment. For example, my father always buys eco-friendly detergents. Pollute. To make an area or substance, usually air, water or soil, dirty or harmful to people, animals and plants, especially by adding harmful chemicals. For example, the pesticides used on many farms are polluting the water supply. Deforestation. The cutting down of trees in a large area or the destruction of forests by people. For example, Reducing deforestation is one way to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Okay, this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching.